the Caitlin Clark effect. Why do you think that has been the case?
Well, I want to be very diplomatic about this.
This is Sheila Johnson, the owner of the Washington Mystics. And what she is about to say in this interview about Caitlin Clark being named Times Athlete of the Year is, well, let's just say it's mind-blowing. It says everything you need to know about the ongoing issues in women's basketball, especially when it comes to the jealousy of Caitlin Clark and her popularity. We had an idea of the issues before this interview. We could put the pieces together. But Sheila's comments as a team owner are so transparent and controversial that you have to wonder if many WNBA players and leaders would rather the league flounder without Caitlin than succeed with her. Stick around because I'm going to break down her comments and frankly dismantle the argument that Caitlin Clark isn't deserving of her accolades. But first, a quick recap of how we got to Sheila's brutal take. From the moment Caitlin Clark burst onto the national scene in college, the hype was intense. In her final year at Iowa, Caitlin shattered records and captured the nation's attention with her electrifying play. She became the NCAA all-time scoring leader for men's and women's basketball.
Caitlin Clark became the leading scorer in the NCAA Division I basketball, woman or man.
She hit buzzer beaters that left jaws on the floor, and her patented logo threes, those shots didn't just go viral, they became her brand. Iowa's championship game against South Carolina drew an astounding 18.9 million viewers. She was the obvious first pick in the WNBA draft.
First pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, the Indiana Fever select Caitlin Clark, University of Iowa.
And the anticipation of her Indiana Fever debut was off the charts, but not everyone shared in the excitement. Critics didn't just doubt her, they seemed to be actively rooting against her success. Some claimed she couldn't handle the physicality of the WNBA. Others said she was just a product of college hype. Caitlin had just one way to respond to all of them, with her game. She carried that momentum straight into the WNBA, where she had one of the greatest rookie seasons in league history. Most assists in a single season, most points in a season by a guard, the all but unanimous Rookie of the Year award, fourth in MVP voting, and the list goes on and on. Her games were the most watched of the season. She packed NBA arenas. She drove nearly 27% of the league's economic activity. 1/6 of tickets sold were because of Caitlin. She turned the Indiana Fever into a playoff team for the first time since 2016. She didn't just meet expectations, she shattered them. And then there were the awards that followed in the offseason. Caitlin was named among Forbes 30 under 30.
Caitlin Clark snags another honor. She's made the Forbes 30 under 30 list.
And now recognized as Times Athlete of the Year. The Time Athlete of the Year recognition isn't just big, it's historic. She joined the ranks of athletes like Simone Biles and Lionel Messi, proving that her impact extends far beyond the court. In short, her unparalleled college play led to her popularity. Her popularity followed her into the WNBA. She exceeded expectations, which fueled the insane growth of the WNBA. And her impact on the league led to these awards. It's a pretty clear path, but it's this award that seems to have set people off. Cue Sheila Johnson, owner of the Washington Mystics, who stepped into the conversation with comments that sparked a firestorm, and some laughs, but mostly disbelief.
It has taken the WNBA almost 28 years to get to the point where we are now. And this year, something clicked with the WNBA.
Yes, we know that something that clicked was Caitlin Clark. But what do you think it was, Sheila?
Players that came in. It's just not Caitlin Clark. It's Reese. We have so much talent out there that has been unrecognized.
Okay, yes, it's a league. All players contribute. There's no question Angel and others have added to the storyline. But Caitlin has been the main draw for all the obvious reasons I mentioned earlier. Sheila doesn't seem to be able to or want to accept that. So what is Sheila's take on Caitlin's popularity? Let's just say it's controversial.
Well, I want to be very diplomatic about this. It's just the structure of the way media plays out race.
And there it is. According to Sheila, the hype surrounding Caitlin isn't because of her talent, it's tied to race. But wait, there's more.
I feel really bad because I've seen so many players of color that are equally as talented, and they never got the recognition that they should have.
Other players not getting the recognition they deserve because of their color. Where have I heard this before? Oh yeah.
I'm curious to know who the other candidates were. Shit, you put Simone Biles back in there.
You can put her back in there. Probably LeBron. from his Olympics plus, you know, like
I mean, hell,
from the season
you
Olympics.
put Asia Wilson in.
Cheryl Swoops' reaction to Caitlin Clark's Time Award was remarkably similar to Sheila's. The award wasn't based on merit, it was based on Caitlin's popularity. Caitlin's popularity is unfair because other players are just as talented and not getting the same attention, and therefore it all has to do with race. But what about all those records Caitlin set in her first season? So many other players have done that, right? That's a typical rookie performance, right, Cheryl? Right, Sheila? That's what I thought. But back to Sheila with one more banger. This one is the Picasso of horrible takes.
Why couldn't they have put the whole WNBA on that cover and said, the WNBA is the league of the year because of all the talent that we have?
Did Sheila really just suggest that the Athlete of the Year award be changed to the League of the Year award and that they should put every player on the cover?
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
Time's Athlete of the Year is about individuals who stand out. Past winners have included iconic figures like Simone Biles, Serena Williams, and LeBron James. These athletes weren't celebrated because their leagues demanded it. They were honored because their achievements transcended the sport. Caitlin's inclusion follows that same pattern. She's not just excelling in the WNBA, she's driving conversations, drawing fans, and creating moments that elevate the entire sport. Putting the entire league on the cover would have diluted the honor. Time didn't choose Caitlin Clark as a stand-in for the WNBA. They chose her because she's Caitlin Clark. What makes Sheila's comments especially frustrating is that they overshadow the real progress Caitlin represents for the WNBA. Why do you think the players are renegotiating their collective bargaining agreement? Caitlin's first year altered the trajectory of the league, and they're riding the Kate train to Moneytown. And again, Caitlin's rise isn't about privilege, it's about performance. She's setting records, growing the game, and bringing unprecedented attention to women's basketball. Critics like Sheila seem to confuse recognition for individual excellence with favoritism. But merit isn't favoritism, it's earned. Imagine calling out Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant or Steph Curry for being the faces of the NBA during their prime. That's essentially what Sheila's comments are doing. Also, did anyone really give a flying about the melanin levels of those players? When Larry Bird and Magic Johnson entered the NBA, the rivalry was built on and sustained by individual greatness. Larry Bird used his sharpshooting and basketball IQ to help bring the NBA to new heights. With his charisma and playmaking abilities, Magic Johnson became one of the most beloved players in history. Michael Jordan didn't just play the game, he elevated it. His impact on basketball is unmatched. Known for his skyhook shot, Kareem became the NBA's all-time scoring leader. Steph Curry is also revolutionizing the game by making the three-pointer the centerpiece of modern basketball. Nobody gave a damn about their skin color. They cared about what they brought to the court. If Caitlin leads the league in points and assists next year, should we give the MVP to her and the league because they're all so great? Caitlin Clark should be no different. Sheila Johnson's remarks don't just target Caitlin, they risk dividing the league at a time when unity is crucial. The league, even with Caitlin, lost $40 million last year. It's on the rise, but not out of the woods. It needs everyone moving in the same direction. Instead of celebrating Caitlin's success as a win for the WNBA as a whole, comments like these create unnecessary tension. They shift the narrative away from the league's growth and back toward internal conflicts that undermine its progress. If Sheila had embraced Caitlin's time honor as a win for the WNBA, it could have been a moment to rally behind the league's momentum. Instead, it's become a divisive talking point that risks alienating fans. The Time cover should have been a celebration, a moment to spotlight the WNBA's brightest star and the growing popularity of the league. Instead, it's become a lightning rod for debate. Sheila's comments ignited backlash, with many fans and analysts pointing out that Caitlin's accolades are earned. I mean, what exactly does someone have to do to deserve recognition if that isn't enough? Let's address this head on. Caitlin Clark isn't being celebrated because of her skin color. She's being celebrated because of her impact. In college, Caitlin became the NCAA's all-time leading scorer. She didn't just break records, she obliterated them. Her deep threes, clutch shots, and fearless leadership captivated fans across the country, and her viral highlights brought unprecedented attention to women's basketball. In the WNBA, Caitlin has done the same. She rewrote the record book and is rewriting what's possible for a young star. Her games are drawing record viewership numbers. She's not just playing basketball, she's growing the game. Caitlin's appeal isn't about privilege, it's about the fact that she's a generational talent doing things nobody else has. She shoots from the logo like Steph Curry, she makes clutch plays in high-pressure situations. And she's drawing in new fans who wouldn't otherwise watch the WNBA. Her presence has brought mainstream attention the WNBA has been chasing for years. This isn't about favoritism, it's about recognizing greatness when you see it. Even WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert acknowledged Caitlin's impact, calling her one of the biggest needle movers the league has ever seen.
People coming to games, so we need more people to watch, attend, and the quality of the game is what I'm so proud of. It's there. I mean, people love watching our game. If we can get fans into the funnel to watch the games, they're going to come back, and then they're going to attend and rep and buy merch and everything that goes around the revenue model.
The league is growing, ticket sales are up, and TV ratings are climbing. Why? Because people want to see Caitlin Clark play. What Caitlin is doing isn't just impressive, it's transformative. The WNBA is at an inflection point, and Caitlin Clark is at the center of it. Her ability to connect with the fans, deliver highlight reel moments, and bring excitement to every game she plays is what's driving this surge in interest. The league has needed someone like Caitlin for a long time, someone who isn't just a dominant scorer, but someone who can draw comparisons to the greats across all of basketball, not just women's hoops. The real issue with Sheila Johnson's comments isn't just that they discredit Caitlin, it's that they undermine the growth of women's basketball. By tearing down the league's most marketable star, you risk alienating fans who are just starting to invest in the WNBA. Instead of focusing on what Caitlin brings to the table, these comments shift the conversation to unnecessary and divisive narratives. Caitlin's success doesn't take away from anyone else. When the league's model exciting player is constantly subjected to baseless criticism, it creates an environment that's toxic. Instead of fostering growth, it fosters resentment. You don't have to tear someone down to lift others up. And this isn't just about Caitlin. It's about what her success represents. Caitlin's rise should be seen as a win for the WNBA and women's sports in general. Her achievements shine a light on the entire league, bringing in fans who wouldn't have watched otherwise. The WNBA needs stars like Caitlin Clark to compete in an oversaturated sports market. Comments like Sheila Johnson's only work against that goal, slowing the progress the league has made so far. The truth is, tearing down Caitlin Clark doesn't elevate anyone else. It just causes divides between the fans and players, at a time when unity is essential for the league's growth. Caitlin Clark isn't going anywhere. She's just getting started, and her impact on the WNBA is only going to grow. If she continues to lead the league in points and assists, break records, and draw massive audiences, the awards will keep coming, and so will the backlash. Caitlin doesn't need validation from the haters. Her game speaks for itself. Caitlin Clark isn't Times Athlete of the Year because of privilege. She's Times Athlete of the Year because she's a once-in-a-generation talent who's changing the game. What do you think? Are the criticisms of Caitlin fair, or are they missing the bigger picture? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more basketball drama. Catch you in the next one.